This episode is sponsored by Cryptid Crate. And now, if you use the promo code SECRETPOD, you won't save 10% on your first order. You will save 20% on your first order. So if you're a paranormal or cryptozoology lover, go to cryptidcrate.com and use the promo code SECRETPOD. And that'll save 20% on your first order. cryptidcrate.com.
You are about to listen to After Dark with the Secret Transmission Podcast. No research, no particular topics.
It was like air. I hiccuped and then.
It's like, be gone, Satan.
My poltergeist just left my body. They'll be back in a minute. Though.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. I'm waiting for something to happen in this house today. Cause
it's out and it's wandering around.
Yeah.
So welcome to the Secret Transmissions After Dark number 7.
7, that's it?
Lucky 7.
This is After Dark episode number 7. We've only done 7 of these.
Well, I know that. You think that I think we've only done 7 episodes of our Secret Transmission podcast or what?
It wouldn't
Jesus
surprise
Christ.
me.
I know I sleep through a lot, but it's not that many. Not like 45.
So, I am your host, Toby, and I got...
the host.
You can, I'm not.
Why not? I'm good looking, sort of.
Okay, if you're into that type.
So what's your name and stuff?
I'm Rudy.
Oh, okay. What's your name and stuff?
Kristen.
Okay. So I guess we need to address the elephant in the room about our takeover episodes and why we were gone. And the Men in Black.
Yeah. Are we allowed to?
I think it needs to be. I don't want anyone to be worried or concerned.
Okay.
If you listen to the Men in Black episode, I may have said how much I loved Dan Aykroyd. It wasn't the Men in Black.
Okay, you weren't just saying how much you loved. You might as well have been puffing on him right here and there. You know, right here and now.
Well, I think Mr. Aykroyd took offense to that, and it wasn't the Men in Black knocking on the door. It was actually the attorneys saying I can no longer be in a 25-mile radius of him.
How does that work on airwaves, though?
I don't know. That's just what the
restraining order says?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll move on.
Yeah.
So I would like to thank the podcast that took over for us. The first takeover was the Tattooed Bananas. The second one was the Geek Yogurt Podcast. The third one was the TX Files. And the fourth one was Let's Get Drunk and Talk Comics. They filled in for us for 4 weeks, and we're finally back, though.
Yeah,
we're good.
Yeah.
We're here.
Whole situation could have been avoided if we had just stopped. Said, hey, what's up, guys?
Yeah.
It was more fun running, though.
Oh, yeah.
Really was.
Sightseeing and...
Oh, yeah. Roswell.
Yeah. But
Mel's Hole. 1 and 2.
That is one gigantic hole.
That's why Tyler's not here. We actually dropped his ass down Mel's Hole.
Dropped how we pushed.
Oh, we're talking about the actual place. Oh, never mind. Okay, sorry.
You dirty ass.
Sorry,
LB.
Mel.
So we also released some T-shirts on What a Maneuver website. And they're available.
Hashtag wham.
Hashtag wham family. You can I'll have a link in the description of this episode, so you can go purchase one to help support the show. And if you do, send us a screenshot of proof, and through Twitter or email at Secret Transpod on Twitter, secrettransmission@hotmail.com for email, and we'll send you a cute little 1 1/4 inch button that you can put on your backpack or swag. So and if you leave us a review and take a screenshot of the review on iTunes, we'll send you a pin also. Swag so hard.
That's right.
You're just not wearing enough flair.
That's right.
You need more flair.
Get your Secret
That's
Transmission
your problem.
flair.
I'm going to need you to get a little more flair.
You take your flare and shove it up your ass.
So I do need to shout out Zenger from the ZengThis podcast. He was the very first to buy a t-shirt. Thank you very much.
Zenger, is that his name?
Yeah.
Wasn't that the one that posted
His
it
actual...
on,
Wait, hold on.
I think it's his last name.
Zenger?
Yeah. I don't know if it's his...
What a fucking badass. How come I got some stupid-ass last name and this guy's walking around with Zenger?
Yeah.
Zing.
Yeah, your last name's Dick Balls, right?
I bet it... Not until I get married to you.
Oh!
This is Dick Balls.
Here, I gotta give you props. That's pretty good.
Nice.
So, anyways, to continue with a little business,
Hashtag dick balls.
we are going to be attending the Aurora Alien Fest on April 22nd, 2017. What was that?
It's my scary thing.
It's supposed to be like her alien.
Was it like X-Files? Kind
Meets Dick Balls, yeah.
kind of like
Worry about yourself over there.
So, if you're going to go, come find us. We're all going to be wearing our Sexy Skull t-shirts.
I will be wearing... My attire for the night will be a Secret Transmission shirt along with a skirt that has alien heads on it.
You haven't even tried it on yet, so how do you...
I did try it on.
Oh, did
I
it?
tried it on right in front of you after you said, you haven't even tried it on yet.
Oh.
So I took off my pants and put on the skirt, and you're like, oh. And I was like, look, it fits good. You're like, yeah, that's good. And you kept continuing on Twitter, so it's not my fault.
Mandela.
Oh, you can't blame it on that.
Yes, I
That's
can.
fucking bullshit.
it is such a convenient excuse.
I know.
Kind of like how anytime the power goes out at my house now,
I thought I put the trash out.
I blame
Mandela.
the CIA.
Goddamn CIA.
I do. I
Oh.
just look back at CIA. Goddamn.
You think you got it bad. So the other day when I was at work, I get a text message and it says, oh my God, Kristen, I was in so much danger. There was a robber in the house. And they like got out of the closet somehow. The light was on and everything. There was somebody in the closet, but they got out.
Yeah, I don't know.
Every time I leave the light on in the closet, Toby sends me a message telling me that somebody was in there trying to rob us, but they got away.
I don't know. There has to be a hole in the floor in our closet.
He
Because
says-
someone just leaves that light on all the time. I know my little
I
angel
leave the
over
light
here wouldn't
on.
do it. No.
It's me.
Stop trying to cover for this burglar.
CIA.
Yeah.
So it's me. I leave the light on when I go in there to get something, and then he always messages me and goes, I fear for my life.
I'm burgled. I can't do that. I can't handle this stress anymore.
So this episode is coming out the day before April 1st,
Ooh, my favorite day.
which is the Day of the Fools.
Yes, that's why it's my
Thank
favorite
God
day.
I don't work that day.
What day is it? What day does that fall on?
Let's
Saturday.
Oh, yes. I
Does it?
work
Next
either.
Saturday.
Well, I went
Remember
ahead.
we were going to go to prom.
Oh, no, we're not. No.
You're going
The
to
prom
prom?
welcomes Mr. and Mrs. Dick Balls.
My sister, I don't know. She's not going to prom this
She's
year.
too young, so she's only a junior.
So she
but
wanted
she
to have
wants to
her
do a
own
prom.
little prom, and she invited us, but we have kids and
I
stuff.
always forget you have two sisters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking,
One's-
I thought Rainey was like 18 or 19 or something like that.
Stormy.
Or whatever. her name is. Rainy, Stormy, Lightning,
You know-
Thor. I don't care.
What's funny is Reagan. There was someone in our family that used to call Reagan Rainy all the time. That's why I was
Really?
really confused.
I know. I
like,
was like, damn, he's been listening really good.
yeah.
Because when you said rainy, I was like, wow.
Nope, I meant Stormy.
Yeah.
It was a complete fluke that I mentioned Rainy. at
That's
all.
funny. I'm gonna start
Oh,
calling
well,
Stormy
Rainy
Rain.
is actually busy that weekend, too, so she can't go
Yeah,
either.
well,
So I got a little bit of history for April Fool's, though. I thought it'd be fun to go ahead and share it on this After Dark, because I don't know if it would be a full episode type thing. Because it seems kind of... First off, they don't know where the exact date of this came into play. Like,
Right.
no one knows the real history on it, from what I could gather.
I wonder if Mandela Effect's a huge April Fool's joke.
Oh, that would be awesome.
That would be horrible.
That'd be... Well...
And then all the companies come out, fooled you. We changed our logos on purpose, bitches. Huh?
That's a huge campaign.
Yeah, and it's like they like flipping us off the whole time, suckers. And it's like, oh, thanks, guys. We appreciate it.
So I'm
And
not...
at the end, they go, of the world.
Then they reach in their back pocket, pull out a mic, and drop it in front of us.
Yeah.
They're like,
So
thanks.
I'm not put. Usually, I put all the sources of everything in our notes, but I'm not doing that this time, and I'm gonna read directly from a lot of the things. So, if you wanted sources, this isn't the episode for it because.
And you should put in their sources, and then underneath it in parentheses, April Fools.
So some historians believe that April Fool's Day dates back to 1582 when France switched from the Julian calendar to the Georgian. Gregorian calendar?
Go with Gregorian. That
Gregorian.
sounds more official.
As called for by the Council of Trent in 1563, people were slow to get the news or failed to recognize that the start of the new year had been moved to January 1st and continued to celebrate it during the last week of March through April 1st. And they'd all become the butt of the jokes basically because they didn't get the memo that no, this isn't the new year, we're skipping the new year this year, we're starting the new year at January 1st, so they look like assholes,
right?
So that's why they have April Fool's Day. That's one thing. Historians have also linked April Fool's Day to ancient festivals such as
littering and
what was that, such as Hilaria, which was celebrated in Rome at the end of March and involved people dressing up in disguises. There's also speculation that April Fool's Day was tied to the vernal...
Slow down.
To the vernal? God damn it.
Venereal?
Tied to the vernal equinox, or first day of the spring in the northern hemisphere, when Mother Nature fooled people with changing, unpredictable weathers. So,
that makes sense in a way.
In modern times, people have gone to great lengths to create elaborate April Fool's Day hoax. Newspapers, radios, and TV stations and websites have participated in the April 1st tradition of reporting outrageous fictional claims that have been fooled that have fooled their audience. In 1957, the BBC reported that Swiss farms were experiencing this one's good.
Okay.
This is 1957, okay? Swiss farmers were experiencing a record spaghetti crop and showed footage of people harvesting noodles from trees. Numerous viewers were fooled. And then in 1985, Sports Illustrated tricked many of its readers when it ran a made-up article about a rookie pitcher named Sid Finch who could throw a fastball over 168 miles per hour. So,
oh damn!
In 1996, Taco Bell, the fast food restaurant chain, if you don't know what the greatness of Taco Bell is, duped people when it announced it had agreed to purchase Philadelphia's Liberty Bell and intended to rename it the Taco Liberty Bell. I think I remember that one. I vaguely remember that. In 1998, after Burger King advertised a left-handed Whopper, scores of clueless customers requested...
Left-handed Whopper?
Yeah, so a lot of people actually tried to get the burger, the left-handed Whopper, and the people that were working there were confused.
Right.
So, and we see it with, on like Twitter and social media, you might see a new video game come out, or do you remember a couple of years ago someone put out a Legend of Zelda movie trailer?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it was just a giant hoax, but it actually kind of half-assed looked cool.
Right. It's kind of like people who were doing Halo movie trailers, and they were splicing different sci-fi movies together and claiming it to be real.
Right.
Yeah.
Or I've seen them where people have spliced together like X-Men and the Avengers because those properties can't intertwine, but they were like, finally, the day has come. And then they'll show footage from, and it looks half-assed legit, and you're like, okay.
I remember when years ago when PC Gamer did a review, quote unquote, of a Sims the Lieberman's expansion pack. And that Senator Lieberman at the time was a huge anti-gaming dude.
Oh my god, so that's so good.
Oh, and it was hilarious. And a lot of people thought it was real. So
yeah, April Fool's is a fun day.
Yeah.
Don't fucking April Fool's us, and don't pretend to be Dan Aykroyd. I feel like I have to put that out there
That's
now.
Toby's way of saying, please April Fool us with Dan Aykroyd.
No, watch. I'll get a fucking message from Dan Aykroyd on April 1st being like, hey, I listened to the show. And
I'll see what I can get to happen.
I'll see if I can pull some strings.
I'll pull some I'll get some shit done. I'll have his people contact me.
So, through Big Fluoride?
Oh, Big Fluoride, come on.
Yeah, if the other podcast can get freaking Hannibal Lecter, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Anthony Hopkins on their shit, then we should be able to get somebody on
There's
ours.
a podcast. I think they're pretty big. I don't know. I'm in a little chat group with them. They're called Skip
big,
to the End.
But...
And they do a side podcast called Mac and Me or something like that. Or, God, I can't remember what it's called. But they've been able to interview. They did Anthony Hopkins' first podcast interview. They've been interviewing Jay Muse from.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How?
Well, they've got a lot of followers and stuff. Like they get some.
Well, get on it, Twitter Queen, because I want to sit there and interview.
She wants to interview
Anthony
someone.
Hopkins.
They are very popular. I haven't actually got to listen to their show, but they are very popular. I know they pull in big numbers. So
What if they this would just be a twist, but it'd be funny. What if they really don't even like interview those people? What if they have like on their podcast team somebody who's just super good with impersonations? I would totally love that. I'd be like, today we're interviewing, and the same person sitting there every time. And
we need to get the guy from
voiceover.
podcast 1289 to do his Jesse Ventura impression and interview him. And then he does a really good meatwad too, by the way. So go check out podcast 1289.
Oh, well, I love
Isn't
Meatwad.
Jesse Ventura a bit of a conspiracy theorist?
Oh,
too?
what are you talking about? Kind of.
Yeah.
I wish I could. I almost
sorta.
tried. I tried to do his impression of him, and I would have just sounded like a fucking asshole. So I'm so glad I stopped myself. But yeah,
I saw the look. You were like, gonna do it. And then you were like,
Abort.
You were like, I'm gonna reel it. You actually did the whole, like, cup your hand. And I'm reeling it in.
and action.
Action. And scene.
So I have a weird conspiracy, and then I don't know if it's a conspiracy. I don't know if it's paranormal, supernatural, superstitious,
Paranoia.
but
Or all of the above.
All of the above.
I was doing research a long time ago, and for the show, and I stumbled across that a lot of terrible things happen in the month of April. And I'm sure with the amount of history that humans have,
Right.
every month has terrible history. But like a lot of recent ones in the last 100 some odd years. Now I've got stuff that dates back further to like 1775, but I've got a list of just either bad events or major events. Okay? Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
it's not all bad, but there's something about April, and I don't know how to label it yet.
It's because it's spring.
Well, hold on. Listen. I don't know what you were about to say, but some of the stuff you'll be like, okay, yeah, that's a little detail in history, or that's a big detail in history. I don't know.
It's
Just
all about the weather.
okay. I'm not going to
it
say
is.
April for every one of these, but I'm going to tell you the date and the year, and then I'm going to tell you what happened. Okay? Because this all happened in April.
Okay. Bless you.
The first one I'm going to tell
Sneeze?
you. No, I'm sniffed.
Fuck,
I'm going to edit that out because I was
Bless
trying to. He does that all the time. Let me get a drink since y'all are fucking with me.
I'm not. I just said bless you.
It's just like, I thought, I
like-
missed a whole sneeze.
It's like
just
Toby's
then.
like, oh.
I always
Bless
cough
you.
away from it or try to clear my throat before I read, and I'm about to read a lot.
He tries to do it as off mic as he can. I'm always like, bless you.
Yeah, he bless you. He might as well fucking put his mouth on it. And go, bless you.
Sure.
Bless you.
Okay. Okay, guys.
She just got a giggle out of that. I don't know what the deal is.
I just think it's funny. It was just and then you go, bless you. And I, for some reason, I really thought I missed sneeze. I was like, wait a minute, did he sneeze?
No, I'm just being a dick.
Because
Yeah,
it
he's
just
a dick.
sounded funny.
I feel like I'm just gonna keep all this in there.
Yeah.
I'm not editing any of
I
that
was about
out.
to
I was
be like-
going to, but now it's a whole bit now. So
But I was about to be like, my poltergeist found you. For when
Okay.
it came out earlier.
So April 18th, 1775, the Midnight Ride of Paul Revere happened. 1775 started the American Revolutionary War. That was a tongue twister almost. On 30th, 1789, George Washington became the first U.S. president as he was administered the oath of office on. I don't care. It doesn't matter. He was the fucking president.
Okay.
April 2nd, 1792, Congress established the first U.S. mint at Philadelphia. Money's evil.
Bad.
We all know that, so
Bad.
that's why that's terrible.
Right.
April 27th, 1822, the 18th U.S. president was Ulysses S. Grant was born. He was evil? I don't know. He ended up being a president.
He was evil? Question mark.
Question.
April 21st, 1836, the Battle of San
Jacinto, really?
San Jacinto?
San Jacinto.
Between
San
Texans.
Jacinto.
Led by
Jacinto.
Texans. What was it? Wait, not
You're a
Texans.
shame.
Texans.
Disgrace to Texas.
Led by Sam Houston and Mexican forces led by Santa Anna took place near present-day Houston. So that battle, that was bad.
Battle of San Jacinto.
Thank you. April 3rd, 1860, in the American West, the Pony Express service began as the first rider departed in St. Joseph, Missouri.
So the
Bad. Should have
postal
been somebody
service.
smart enough to not even to skip the horses and go straight to cars.
Postal service.
Postal service. We all know the
the-
post service is evil.
Yeah, it sucks.
Ours really sucks.
April 12th, 1861, the American Civil War begins. April 22nd, 1864, In God We Trust was included on all newly minted U.S. coins by an act of Congress, which, some people think religion is evil, so I threw that in there.
Right. Illuminati. Confirmed.
Not even the same God that you think about.
Yeah, what God they trust? Money.
What God do they trust?
They trust their reptilian
Illuminati.
gods.
The Triangle Illuminati God.
That's right.
April 9th, 1865, after over 500,000 American deaths, the Civil War effectively ended as General Robert E. Lee surrendered to General Ulysses S. Grant. So the Civil War ended, which...
Just let it go.
Yeah, don't make fun of
Just
me.
let it go.
I cannot help what my body
because,
does.
Just because he can't say
mean,
Ulysses, it's
My
okay.
heart says, be nice to this man. And then my brain and my whole body just
like,
laughs
fuck
and
you, I'm
shakes and just is like, this is hilarious.
Okay, so the Civil War ended, which,
For you, that's a bad thing.
No, fuck you.
No, some of the groups you hang out with.
Some of the groups you're involved with.
Shut up.
So yeah, that's bad for the rebel.
Just listen to our Ruby Ridge episode. You'll figure out which groups Toby likes to hang with.
No, I think it's you. Which that'll be our next week's episode. We are predicting the future, apparently.
Oh yeah.
Do.
Super sucker.
What?
Wait, what?
She said super.
Super sucker. Yeah. Just keep going.
That's staying in too.
Super soaker. Instead
Okay.
of doing super soaker, it's super sucker.
Oh yeah, I got you. But what are you super sucking over
Because
there?
everything sucks in April. Super sucker.
Oh yeah.
Oh. Okay, so April
That's true.
14th,
Couple blondes in
1865, Lincoln is assassinated.
Again, for you, not a good day.
Wait, I don't. What?
What?
Racist.
Yeah, I don't get that joke. Anyways, April 9th, 1866, despite a veto by...
Because Lincoln abolished slavery.
There we go.
Okay.
Thank you, Blondie.
I'll just shout it out for you here.
Apparently, DBJ is not too
Well,
not taking it in very
DBJ
well.
is non-judgmental. He's like, what did
I love
you say?"
everyone.
And flicks
I love
his hair.
everyone.
Even your shitty jokes, I love you.
I dislike you.
No judgment, DBJ.
Yeah, DBJ. Calm down.
In April 9th, 1866, despite a veto by President Andrew Johnson, the Civil Rights Bill of 1866 was passed by Congress, granting blacks the rights and privileges of U.S. citizenship. Again, don't you make the joke,
Don't make no
motherfucker.
jokes.
Don't you do it.
This is not a time for jokes
Again,
on that one.
I don't have to. You've just spoken up for yourself, buddy.
Well, after I
Super
read it, I
sucker.
realized what you were about to do.
I wasn't gonna do anything.
Well, hey, this next,
After you read it, I was like, he's gonna bury himself. I'm just gonna sit here and wait.
this next one's your hero.
Oh yeah, let's see.
April 20th, 1889.
Hitler.
Adolf Hitler was born. So
That's my
Blonde hair,
father.
blue-eyed badass right there.
April 6, 1896, after a break of 1,500 years, the first Olympics of the modern era was held in Athens, Greece.
Nice.
Greece.
Mein Vater.
Which, if you saw how many, like, what was the whole thing with the condom scandal and all the... Do you remember at the
about
last Olympics, like, everyone was banging everyone?
Oh, that was yeah. Which one was that? It
So
wasn't
see-
Brazil. It was China. I thought.
I don't know, but see,
China was
sex
banging
is
everybody?
bad. No, they had like I don't know. I don't remember the whole story.
There was. It
I was
was
gonna say,
like
because
a.
don't they have like a law that says like you can only have 2 kids, and after the second,
Well, that's why the Olympics are evil. Is because they got them all together to start hokey and pokeying.
making some teeny Americans. You can't hear me from here?
You're just a little quiet.
Not teeny Americans. It was all these athletes getting together, and they were just. It was a big orgy.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts that year.
So April 8th,
Allegedly.
Oh yeah,
I wasn't there. I can't say
Allegedly.
anything. I don't want to judge.
Ap-
DBJ.
April 18th, 1906, the San Francisco earthquake. April 15th, 1912, the Titanic sank.
That's a
Ooh.
tragedy. Leonardo DiCaprio was a great man.
He could have fit on that damn door.
Both of them could have fit on that
I know.
door.
That's what I'm saying.
He was like, "Nah, I got what I wanted." Toodles.
I drew you naked, girl.
I don't want to have this relationship anymore, so I'm just gonna float off.
See, a relationship in the new world or death.
I was taking breakup to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
But we can both fit on door. No,
No,
we
no,
can't.
no.
We can't.
I'm a time traveler. I gotta go back. Deuces.
You threw away my goddamn heart necklace.
Right.
I'm not getting on that goddamn door with you.
April 8th, 1913, the 17th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution was ratified, requiring direct popular election of U.S. senators. Previously, they had been chosen by state legislators.
Boo. No, I'm just kidding.
Huh.
That one's a little too political. I shouldn't have put that one in there. I regret that one. I'm sorry.
Well,
fellas.
anything political is evil, so I'm okay with it.
Right. April 20th, 1914, miners in Ludlow, Colorado, were attacked by National Guardsmen paid by the mining company. 5 men and a boy were killed by machine gun fire, while 11 children and 2 women burned to death as the miners' tent colony was destroyed. That almost
What?
seems like that might be an interesting topic to look
I
into.
Yeah,
thought
no
Texas
shit.
is badass, but if you hire somebody in Colorado, they bring machine guns?
Yeah, they
Apparently.
mow down your families. Damn.
April 21st, 1918, during World War I, the Red Baron, Manfred von Richthofen, was shot down and killed during the Battle of the Somme? S-O-M-M-E?
I don't know.
Somme.
Some?
But the Red Baron, he was killed.
That
April
dude was
12th.
badass too.
Yeah, isn't
Yeah.
he? April 12, 1945, President Franklin D. Roosevelt died suddenly at Warm Springs, Georgia, after suffering a cerebral hemorrhage.
Tragedy.
Suddenly.
Do
You gotta put stuff like that in quotes. Suddenly.
allegedly.
Allegedly.
Airport.
April. Well, they can't see air quotes. April 4th. Just imagine.
It is an audio show.
Imagine I do air quotes around
Said
all of
say
this.
air quote.
Oh, say it.
Suddenly.
I was about to say, I swear to God, Toby, I'm about to come over there and knock you in your head if you just really said that. Well, they can't see air quotes.
April 4th, 1949, 12 nations signed the treaty creating NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization.
Boo.
Evil? Yes?
I told you anything political is evil.
April 12th, 1961, Russian cosmonaut Yuri... Fucking Yuri names.
Huh?
God damn. Gagarin became the first human in space. He traveled aboard the Soviet spacecraft Vostok 1 to an altitude of 187 miles above the Earth and completed a single orbit in a flight lasting 108 minutes. The spectacular Russian success intensified the already ongoing space race between the Russians and Americans. 23 days later, Alan Shepard became the first American in space. So, almost in April.
Almost.
Wait. He was the first American in space and when?
It would have been 23 days after April 12th, 1961. This is probably just to orbit.
Doubt it. But they orbited.
I was wondering where she was going with that.
Bet they orbited from one room to another in the freaking
Wait, you said April 12th?
building.
Yeah,
Well, 23 days later.
would have been January, February, March.
Oh, like right there, too. Like,
Mm-mm. Never happened.
That's why it was fake, because it didn't happen in April.
oh, true. Yeah. Kristen's whole doubts of the space race is quite entertaining.
Yeah.
I'd like to do an episode with her on it.
The space race.
We sent a man to the moon in 1960. Oh.
April 25th.
She's trying her damnedest to
Oh, I
hold
know,
it
she's
in.
biting her
Look.
tongue. April 25th, 1967, the first law legalizing abortion was signed by Colorado Governor John Love, allowing abortions in cases in which a panel of 3 doctors unanimously,
Unanimously, yes.
agreed. So, that's two
by
pretty bad.
unanimously, you mean they look at the girl and they're like, she looks like a whore. This is gonna happen again. And then they freaking just say, not.
Well,
to
they
have an
probably
abortion?
talked to her and said, "Why do you want to have this abortion?" And she had to convince 2 out of the 3 doctors like why she should have it. April 30th, 1967, boxer Muhammad Ali was stripped of his world heavyweight boxing championship after refusing to be inducted into the American military. He claimed religious exemption. April 4th, 1968, Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated. April 11th, 1960.
Why do you find that so amusing, Kristen?
Yeah, what's
Because
all...
no one said boo to that one.
Oh, no, because that one's terrible.
That
Yeah,
is
that's
terrible.
horrible.
But there's a conspiracy behind
I
that
know,
one.
but
Yeah,
no
there
one's
is.
saying
We need
like
to do
boo that he
episode
was
on that.
killed.
Yeah.
Maybe something soon.
Without racist Kristen.
Like you are saying that no one said boo that he was killed.
Oh, yeah, well, no, why would we?
So-
Yeah, that's rude.
I'm reverse what I'm thinking that y'all are thinking that I'm thinking. I'm saying like it's bad that he was killed and no one booed the fact that he was
Oh.
killed.
Well,
Okay.
we can't think what you're thinking because we don't think that way.
Right.
We're not
Heil
racist.
Hitler.
Hey, where are you running off to?
Yeah, where are you running off to, you blonde hair, blue eyed little hussy?
Don't be afraid. I'm just a supreme race.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to keep going.
Races.
Go on. Go pee.
Go pee, Hitler.
April 11th, 1970, Apollo 13 was launched from Cape Kennedy at 2:13 p.m. 56 hours into the flight, an oxygen tank exploded in the service module. The crew went into the lunar module, using it as a lifeboat, and began a return trip to Earth, splashing down safely on April 17th.
You said when they take off?
April 11th.
I thought they took off April 13th.
Well, no, that would be 56 hours later. Would put them on April 13th.
I was always under the impression that it was launched on like April 13th at like 2:13 in the afternoon. There were a lot of 13s in the dates. Was always my
I don't
impression
know.
of it.
That'd be a fun one to look into a little more.
It'd be interesting. I don't know if there's really a conspiracy.
Well,
or
we could
anything
just
behind
find
it.
space stories in general, you know?
Oh yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
There's got to be some other like wacky shit that's happened.
Like there was something that came out recently where they may have launched a shitload of cosmonauts into space and never got them back.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd
that
be
a couple of Italian brothers were able to intercept transmissions from.
Were they secret?
No, not secret transmission. Well, they might have been secret. It was Russia,
Mm.
and that they could hear people screaming and stuff.
Oh, that's terrible. I don't know.
yeah.
There's a video on YouTube. It's just audio.
Uh huh.
And it's of a crew that's gone missing or something, and it's the whole time like I was like, holy shit, this is nuts.
Right.
And like you can hear him screaming and stuff, but at the very end, he's like, I can't believe this is how Earth ended, and it's like a role play.
Oh, really?
Like, and it sounds so good. Like all the sound effects and everything, it's perfect. So I wonder if it's something like that.
I don't know, because alleged this was done back in the 60s, where they were able to hear these transmissions supposedly, and they've already proven them to be hoaxes or whatever. But who knows? Maybe there is a little kernel of truth to it.
Right.
But I wish I knew more about it. But it's two Italian brothers were able to intercept these transmissions, and they could hear people.
Two brothers
being
on a Mexican armada.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll continue.
But yeah, it's a fascinating story if you can ever find it.
We might if we can find enough space stuff, maybe we'll just do a space episode of just space in general. Space.
I
felt like I need to say it one more time. I said it a lot.
A lot of people like space.
Yeah.
What can I say? It's fascinating.
It is. It's
kinda
like
like the super deep sea. Yeah.
Yeah. We were thinking. We're on the same.
There we go.
So, April 19th, 1971, Charles Manson is sentenced to death. Later, it was changed to life imprisonment for the conspiracy of the Tate Beyonce murders, whatever. I don't know what the other person's name is, but the Tate. That was the movie star, I think.
Yeah, that was the big one, because she was pregnant at the time, too.
Oh, yeah. We need to do a Manson episode.
Whew.
That'd be fun. Well,
yeah.
It'd be interesting. I gotta watch.
Oh, that'd be fun, guys.
Yeah. Let's talk about
murder and death. And brainwashing.
And cults.
Yeah.
April 19th, 1985, 200 ATF and FBI agents lay siege to the compound of the white supremacist survivalist group, the Covenant, the Sword, and the Arm of the Lord in Kansas. The CSA surrendered 2 days later.
Was that Ruby Ridge?
No, that was the Covenant.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which we might talk about in upcoming episodes,
That's
the Covenant.
True. Yeah.
Just a little bit. In April 14th, 1986, U.S. warplanes, on orders from President Ronald Reagan, bombed the Libyan cities of Tripoli and Benghazi.
Tripoli and Benghazi.
In retaliation for the April 5th terrorist bombing of a Doskotheque? Doscotheqw. Oh my god. Disc off the Q? I don't know. In West Berlin, in which 2 American soldiers were killed. April 26, 1986, at Chernobyl nuclear power plant. Chernobyl happened.
Chernobyl, yeah.
There's a big whole thing. Chernobyl happened. We should do an episode on Chernobyl too.
Yes, that would be
This is just
cool.
giving us
so many ideas.
Yeah.
April, thank you for the ideas.
Someone write down all these ideas that I've been saying and email them to me so I don't have to. April 19th, 1987, The Simpsons first appear as a series of shorts on the Tracy Ullman Show. Some people think that Bart's the devil, so that's evil. I like The Simpsons.
They do?
Shout out to the Best Darn Diddly podcast. They do a Simpsons review podcast, which I was featured on one of the episodes. Go listen to it.
Oh, don't plug yourself or anything. Jeez.
Shameless plug here.
April 19th, 1989, a gun turret explodes on the USS Iowa, killing 47 sailors. On April 19th, 1993, the 51-day FBI siege at the Branch Davidian building outside Waco, Texas. The Waco siege.
Huh.
We might be covering that soon.
Maybe.
This one's probably the worst one on the list. April 5th, Kurt Cobain died.
It's not a conspiracy. That's just where Courtney Love killed him.
Yeah.
Well, that's still a conspiracy.
No, not really. Not when you know who the murderer is.
April 19th, 1995, Oklahoma City bombing. April, we might have an episode on that coming up. April 19th, 1997, the 1997 Red River flood overwhelms the city of Grand Forks, North Dakota. Fire breaks out and spread in the downtown Grand Forks. Did I say Forks a minute ago?
Uh-huh.
Okay, it's Grand Forks. But the high water levels made it to where the fire trucks couldn't get to the fires. There's a kitty meowing in the background. He's fine.
Drop it. Put it on
Hey,
the ground.
if you ever hear our cats in the background, he carries socks and other clothing around, and he brings it to us, and he meows while he's doing it.
Come here, Tim. Come here.
April 20th, 1999, Columbine. April 16th, 2007, Virginia Tech shooting. April 20th, 2010, Deepwater Horizon oil spill.
Really? That was in April.
April 19th, 2013, Boston Marathon bombing. April 17th, now, I might have this date wrong, but the West Texas fertilizer company explosions. And
not West Texas as in West Texas, the town of West.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that. And then on April 13th, 2014, Jewish Center shootings, which I don't remember that one.
Which one? What date?
April 13th, 2014, Jewish Center shootings. That's all my notes say.
Huh. I don't remember that one.
So there's a bunch of bad stuff that happens in April. Is all that whole list was supposed to be.
And yeah, it is April. April 17th, 2013 is the West Fertilizer Company.
And now was the Boston Marathon bombing in 2013? 2 days later?
Yeah, they were
back to back.
They were pretty close together.
I remember
April 15th, 2013. So 15th and 17th.
Wait, which happened first? The Boston Marathon bombing.
Yeah, and then
because I feel like a lot of people were trying to say something. There was a conspiracy tied into this is right when it first happened. I haven't looked into this at all, but I remember people being like, "Oh, the fertilizer explosion is to take away from the Boston Marathon stuff."
Well, the marathon happened on the 15th, and the fertilizer one was 17th. So,
let's go. Let's take a small break.
All right.
We'll play a few promos from some of our friends, and then when we come back, I've got a article and a couple other little things that I wanted to bring up.
Okay, cool.
So we'll be right back.
Rock on.
Do you feel that power? Do you hear that intensity?
Cause that's the kind of power and intensity you get here on Wrestle Nerds!
You can see such stars as the Goomsdigger and the almighty Ripkinzilla.
Don't forget to check out the awesome WNW Wrestle Nerds Wrestling!
It is great, folks!
And you can find us only on YouTube! Don't forget to follow us on Twitter!
Instagram!
And like us on Facebook!
And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, folks!
I am Ripkin at RipkinWN.
I am Gooms at GoomsWN.
We are the Wrestle Nerds.
We definitely are.
Hey there, fellow podcast fans. Do you love comic books, and especially Swamp Thing? Get out of the bayou. So do we. Come check out the Parlapod Show, the world's only podcast dedicated to the muck-encrusted mockery of a man himself, Swamp Thing. This is some serious arcane audio. We also have a sister show, Splurch, where we dive into the world of comics and all the crazy aspects of life. Give us a listen at parlapod.com, iTunes, SoundCloud, our YouTube channel, visit our site, parlapod.com, and consider supporting our Patreon for some really cool rewards and exclusive content. Check us out on podcastradionetwork.net every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Join the conversation on Twitter by following @Parlapod. We'll see you in the swamps.
Hi, I'm Desmond.
And I'm Shalom.
And we're the non-historians. Just two guys with big mouths and little historical knowledge who
take on pop history and everyday history things.
It's so close to learning that you just might.
Like the fact that Thomas Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence. Well, he composed it. However, it was physically written by Thomas Matlack, clerk to the Secretary of the Second Continental Congress.
Boom. Did your mind just explode? Available on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Podbean, and other podcast catchers.
You can find us online at Not Historians on Twitter and on Facebook.
Now enjoy the rest of your show.
Give me attention.
And we're back.
Well, thanks for the heads up, Dick. Oh, get off my phone, you asshole. Ah, that's my phone. Ah, thanks. Oh, gee, look. Ah, damn it.
While Rudy fights the cat.
For my phone.
Oh, your cat was funny earlier.
Oh, with the little pieces of...
Yeah, little pieces. He intentionally threw them on the ground. He pushed it towards him, and after it landed kind of on the side, his cat just grabs it and pulls it to him and throws it on the ground.
Oh, was it Snapchat?
Yeah, I'll show you.
Keeps looking at him the whole time
You can do it again, buddy?
Fuck about your shit.
Because I was tearing apart these little things, and I was just setting the pieces on the table, and he just look at it real angry and intense, and just go, bow, and pull it off the thing, and I'm like, what's wrong with you? I'm going to go home, and the rest of them are going to be on the floor. So I'm geared up for it. Just going to go home and sweep it all up.
Pick up a little mess.
Yeah, pick up a little cat mess.
Okay, so I got a couple of stories.
Ooh, I like
First off,
stories.
I wanted to tell everyone about the scariest thing I've ever seen on the internet. The 30-foot snake.
That's not very scary.
It's old news.
Oh, you're petrified of snakes.
Yeah. I haven't seen this, and this is from
On spiders, he's snakes. So if I see a spider, he kills a spider. And when we saw some snakes outside, I had to kill them.
I ran like a little bitch.
They were little bitty
they were grass snakes.
Little grass snakes. But
it doesn't matter. Fuck them.
Like the most
but
harmless
spiders,
snake.
I'm terrified. And earlier when Mike picked up that spider and was chasing her with it, even though it wasn't me being chased, I thought I had a mini heart attack. I couldn't handle it.
So this story about this 33-foot snake that was found in Brazil was written last year on September 25th, 2016, and I'm just gonna give you the quick,
the dirty details.
Yeah. So some reports say that it weighed over 900 pounds. That's a big fucking snake.
Yeah, how'd they pull it up?
Well, there's a first off, there's a video that pans the length of the snake. It's strapped down to a trailer.
Yeah.
And then there's a picture of a forklift picking it up, and it's just hanging, and you can see how big and massive this stupid thing is.
So they just go forklift fishing out there, or what?
Well,
it was a construction crew, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a construction crew, and this is what didn't make sense. They didn't know if the crew was trying to kill the snake, or because they were I guess they were putting explosives in the mines and maybe exploded it by accident and killed it or crushed it.
Disrupting its territory.
I don't know, but they ended up killing it, so it just whatever.
You're like any dead snake's a good snake, right?
Right,
yeah.
Exactly. Especially a 33 fucking foot snake. Anyways, the reason I bring this up is because there's been new reports lately saying that they've been showing the same picture and the same thing, saying that this snake is 90 foot and that it weighs even more. So someone's rehashing it. That's why I'm bringing it up. So yeah, that's why I was bringing this up, is because
there's a new, bigger, badder.
Well, they're saying that this snake is much bigger and worse than it originally was reported.
Cool.
So, it's the same pictures though. It's not anything new.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying. So now they're recycling it and being like, "Oh, look at this 90-foot, 1,500-pound snake," which that's not. It's
the
you
same
pan out and
pictures.
it's like a 10-pound snake.
So the other little article I was gonna read was shared to us.
Ooh.
By our friends at the Royal We podcast.
Oh yeah?
They actually shouted us out. So on their show they've been reading a lot of headlines lately, but they've been doing a lot of headlines and stuff. And what they usually do is they don't read the story at all. what they'll do is they'll read the headlines and try to assume what the story is about.
Oh, that's
so
funny.
that's their little game that they do.
Yeah.
Well, they found this one, and I guess they came across it, and they gave us a little shout out on their last episode, which by now might be 2 episodes ago. But anyways, so they asked us to solve it.
Okay.
Fox 8 reports on fox8.com is where this story was at.
Okay.
Avon Lake Library, help us solve the A1 bottle mystery.
What about it?
Okay, so I'm going to read the article. Avon Lake, Ohio. When you're looking for books in the library, you don't expect to find a steak condiments behind your favorite read. But that's exactly what's happening in the Avon Lake Public Library, according to their Facebook page. Someone has been planting empty, clean A1 bottles all around the building. Library employees say they've been finding them behind books, magazines, and newspapers. Can you solve the A1 mystery of the Avon Lake Public Library? So I figured, why don't we have a little fun and try to figure out what the freaking motive is behind this mystery. Are you looking it up?
Yeah, I'm trying to. Avon Lake Library.
Is this just a dumb prank? Or could we, let's get all fringy on this one. Is this a gateway for a multiverse where there's an A1 factory where the library stands and they're just Mandelaing and coming over into our universe?
Maybe. This is just going out there.
Yeah, let's go. I mean, put on your tinfoil hat and let's fucking fly to the moon.
I don't even think it's like that. I just think maybe that for, people think that like a book is such a good thing that maybe they're thinking of it as dessert. So okay. Don't even laugh.
I know I'm with you with this. I'm fully supporting your theory.
Oh, like it's like a sweet like dish or or a dessert. So maybe somebody out there who's a big nerd is like, hey, you can't have dessert until you have dinner. So they are hiding these A1 bottles to represent big steak meals. So it's like dinner and dessert.
So what you're saying is Big Steak is behind this.
No, I'm thinking some nerdy kids behind it.
No, you're saying that Big Steak wants you to go buy steaks, and this is their way of
I'd fall for
subliminally telling you eat more steak.
Big fluoride.
You got big fluoride. Kristen has big steak.
Or maybe it's, I don't know.
Maybe
there's some kid on campus that's named like Anthony 1 or something, and he wants these girls to find it.
That'd be cool if he like wrote his phone number on them. He was like, call me for a steak dinner. But see, he's not doing that. They're cleaned out and they're just leaving them everywhere. Is this just a stupid ass prank?
It sounds like it.
Like, I wish if we could figure out who was doing it, if someone ever steps forward, I wish we could interview him and just be like, why? For an hour, we'll just be like, but why? Why A1 sauce?
It's behind your favorite. It's behind your favorite read. So my theory would work.
I mean, it's not a terrible theory. I don't know. I just thought it was
That is kind of interesting, huh?
So yeah, I mean, do you got any ideas on this one, Rudy?
I wonder if there's a bottling factory nearby, and someone's like able to smuggle a bunch out. And
that's the other thing. Like someone is either buying these and emptying them and cleaning them.
Right.
So yeah, you're right.
I'm thinking. I mean, they look pristine. They don't even look like they've had a label on them.
Oh, is that what it said?
Well, you look at the picture. If you go to the website, they show a picture of the bottles. They look like fresh out of a factory.
So it's
A1 steak sauce.
It's not it doesn't have the label on it or anything.
No. It just looks like the A1 steak sauce bottle.
We measured it, so they said, since the security guard spotted the first bottle tucked in a pile of newspapers on January 11th, a total of 30 bottles have been found. They are stripped of their labels, but with a little investigating, the staff was able to identify the familiar sauce bottles. We measured it, and we looked online, and we compared and determined it's an A1 bottle, says Ralston. Their dishwasher cleaned out, but you can still catch a hint of A1 in them.
Huh.
Oh, so they're not completely emptied out. I
Or
mean,
they're
they
not- they're
are.
not
They're
Well,
fresh.
maybe they got a librarian that has an A1 addiction.
Right.
and she doesn't want to tell anyone. She's just like, yeah, no, I don't know where this came from. A1? What's A1? I don't know what A1 is.
It says the bottles were found in the adult fiction or nonfiction sections, never in the children's book sections. Every few days, and the prankster has an MO. For the most part, they're hidden behind the books laying down on their side at the end of the row with the cap showing, she says.
You know, it makes me wonder, like, what books and everything they're finding them. Because
Right.
what if there's hints, like...
Within the book.
What if this is, like, one of those alternate reality games? Have you seen those? What are they called? ARGs.
Right.
And this is one, like, someone's supposed to be putting together clues. Like,
Yeah, mystery.
well, yeah, it's a mystery. You're supposed to be solving the mystery. Like, what if... I don't know.
Well, unless somebody has documented what exactly they have found them on, what books they have found them on, what editions
Well, here,
of
I'm about to
newspapers.
read that.
Oh.
It says, while the bizarre mystery first reported by the Chronicle Telegram sounds straight out of a John Green novel, Margot, Is That You? Ralston says a teen culprit can be rolled out. So it's not somebody that's just young and dumb.
But you know
We
what?
do think they're being left during the first half of the day because we seem to find them after 3 o'clock.
I got it. It's the librarian. Let me explain. They are trying to drum up attention for the library to get kids in there looking for these bottles, and while they're looking, they might pull out a book that they might like. Solved. Got it.
Maybe not.
Case closed.
Says,
Score 1 for secret trans.
so we don't think it's a student. That much we kind of surmise, she says. Local police have even gotten involved to no avail. Nobody knows.
No, wait a minute. I'm pissed that the local police are involved. The hard-earned tax dollars are going into the mystery of the A1 sauce bottles.
Right.
That's
You're talking
stupid
about
shit.
Avon, though. So nobody knows anything.
I don't care.
We're stumped.
I'd be pissed if that was happening in our town. I'd be like, no. Go fucking bust some drug dealers. Go do something
Yeah,
good.
leave the A1 sauce alone.
Yeah,
man.
that's someone pranking them.
Just wait. We've tried to think of different things, Ralston continues. It is a game that somebody is playing, but we just don't know how to play it. A representative for Kraft has yet to respond to people's requests for comment or any possible leads.
So if you are the A1, I was gonna say bandit, but they're not really taking.
Here's all they have to do. They just look at video surveillance of the last month of the local grocery store and see who's buying up a shitload of A1 steak sauce. If you see somebody coming in every other day
for
A1 steak sauce, oh, there it is. The mystery solved.
Yep.
But that is curious, though, like, because who has that much access to A1? Because I don't know about any other town, but here, that shit's $5 a bottle. And that's expensive to be eating or just pouring that out.
Right?
For a prank.
A restaurant might be able to buy them in bulk.
Oh, yeah. Maybe it's someone that works at like a Chili's or something.
Yeah, or a steakhouse in the town.
Yeah.
I'm going to look up
Ooh, maybe that's it. I figured it out.
Is this going to be our first secret transmission expose?
Sure.
It is a guy who owns a steakhouse
Thanks
who
for
has
a
a
wink.
crush on the librarian and leaves those hints throughout it with romantic novels.
Oh.
Ooh, fiction and nonfiction. There we go. What's the name of this town again?
Avon.
Avon Lake?
Avon Lake Library. Ohio. There we go.
Maybe that's it. They have a steakhouse and that's it. It's like little clues to sweet novels. And maybe that's what she's supposed to be figuring out, is that this guy likes those novels and
Some guy
he
got a
likes
crush
her.
on the librarian.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, if you live in Avon, what's it called? Avon Lake?
Avon Lake.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's like 15 steakhouses in the area.
Oh, so that's... Oh.
Yeah, there's quite a few steakhouses.
It's okay. See, when I was picturing this town, I was picturing a little rinky-dinky town. You know,
right?
Maybe a couple thousand people at most. But like you're saying, 11 steakhouses or whatever. That we don't have 11 steakhouses in this town.
Well, it looks like it's near Cleveland. Maybe that's why there's so many steakhouses.
Yeah, I don't know. But
Anyway, I'm sure if we did a little investigating, maybe a little cross-referencing where the actual library is located versus where all the local steakhouses are located, we might be able to narrow down a culprit.
I think they need to get Chris Hansen to just wait in that library and just wait and have people walk up to him and be like,
"Sir, come here, have a seat.
Have a seat.
Hi,
Did
I'm Chris Hansen.
Did you bring anything with you? Do you know who I am?
No, I didn't bring anything with me.
Well, I'm Chris Hansen with Dateline.
Oh, okay.
And you're a suspect in the
A1
A1C.
I swear to God, she said she was 18.
And he's like, wait, what?
A1 steak. Oh, I don't know anything about that. I'll see you later.
A1 what?
A1 what?
I use Heinz 57, sir. Don't disgrace me.
Hey, since I've...
Just give me some Worcester sauce.
I had no intention of bringing up Chris
Worcestershire.
Hansen. It was just a dumb joke that crossed my mind. I'm addicted to watching To Catch Predators. Like,
Oh, he is. I hear about it.
it's so fascinating.
He watches it at work, sometimes on his breaks, and I'm like, of all things, you choose.
because
Catch Predators.
it's so crazy. These guys get caught red-handed, and they're like, "Oh no, that's not at all."
Those
what
are
I-
my condoms.
And they're like, "Have you seen the show?" And they're like, "Well, yeah, I've seen the show." And they're like, "Okay,
I'm a big fan.
So
One
you know we have the fucking log of everything that you said to this underage girl." And they're like, "No,
But,
I
okay,
didn't say
so
that."
here-
I like the ones where it's like, is this a picture of your penis?
But see, this
No,
is where I'm
no,
kind of confused about it, because honestly, if you think about it, it's not against the law, because the person that they're truly talking to is not 15. They are lying about being 15.
It's like intent or something like that.
You know
Like,
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They I think they obviously go to places that have a law to where it's like, if you are trying to get if you have the
is that
intent,
perjury or whatever? Like kind of like a little.
That's kind of been the argument with these guys. Is it was a setup? What's
Like your entrapment. Yeah.
Well, he doesn't do Dateline anymore.
And then watch,
Right.
and then that girl, you remember the really young girl that doesn't even look like a boy, like the girl that looks like a boy they'd bring out. It's like, no, that's not what I ordered. A1 sauce.
That's not what I was.
I ordered Heinz, not Avon.
So he has his own like show, and I think it's on like the internet or something like that. There's 4 or 5 episodes that I've seen, and one of the guys he freaking knows. He's like Jim or whatever his name is.
Because
He's like,
he's a repeat offender.
No. He
No?
knows him because he knows him from the train when they used to ride the train together. Like, it was one of the guys that got on the train, and
Oh,
they've
wow.
talked before. And he's like, "What are you doing, Jim?" or whatever the guy's name is.
Right.
And he's like, "I can't be here." And he tries to turn around and walks out. I mean, it's
He
just-
knew the dude.
Yes,
Yeah.
he knew him.
Wow.
Maybe Chris Hansen's a Dateline rapist.
That's a good cover. Like, oh, I'm the he got caught cheating on his wife or something like that.
Yeah,
a couple years ago.
there was that a few years
There
back.
you go.
Plus there was the whole thing with the guy that shot himself.
Yeah, they make fun of it on South Park.
Because he got caught.
Yeah,
It was like it was here in Texas.
Was it?
Yeah.
The guy on Dateline.
It was
he
like
got
Collin
caught?
County.
He got caught,
Yeah.
and he ran. This is before they had the cops that would like tackle him outside the door. He went home, and maybe he escaped. I don't remember seeing that episode, but I just the South Park. I know the South Park, and I looked it up. And anyways, he somehow managed to get into his car, drive home, and before the cops could even get there, he had shot himself.
He was going to be set up. Realized he was going to be set up. He got tipped off somehow because he was like the assistant DA.
Yeah, he
Or
was
the
pretty.
DA.
He was pretty high up in the town.
Yeah, and so he tried to wipe his computer and ended up killing himself. And then that was when there was a whole to do about.
I thought
You know what I would
thought he
do? I'd
made it there
flip
and
the
actually
switch.
talked to Chris Hansen.
I believe he got wind of it beforehand and tried to erase all the conversations and everything and clean his hard drive.
I flipped the switch. I'd be like, well, it's kind of like when you go to pick out fruit at a, like a market, and you're
Yeah.
like, well, I could get a good one, but I may get a ripe one, and I'd be like, I'm here because I hoping that maybe it wasn't a ripe one. It was a good one. Like, it wasn't a 15-year-old that walked out. Maybe it was actually a 21-year-old. I'd flip it. I'd be like, maybe it's someone of age this time.
It's funny. Some of these guys are like, well, she said she was 18. And then the guy will be, or she said she was 21 or whatever. And then the guy will be like, no, right here she says she's 13. And he was like, oh, I thought we were role playing. Like
that's going to make it any better.
Right.
You know?
I don't know.
Oh, did you like the Atari movies? Or not Atari, Avatar.
Which one?
The
first one.
The blue Avatar.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
See, so they're coming out with the thing for Walt Disney World.
Oh, the Avatar. Oh, okay.
Avatar World
Avatar
or something
World,
like that. Yeah.
Pandora.
You're a Pandora.
That's the name of their planet. It's Pandora.
You're a
That's what
Pandora.
they called it. You're a Pandora. Shut
thought it
up.
was
We should
another
do
movie.
an episode on Pandora's Box.
Not until you watch Avatar.
I don't think she'd appreciate that very much.
Talking about her box. Gotcha.
Boy, there's some innuendos. If I
Yeah.
ever heard any.
We can go ahead and wrap this After Dark up. We didn't talk about any Vault 7.
Not yet.
Not yet. We are well aware that Vault 7 happened while we were on the run.
Right. We're going to let that ferment for a minute.
I think
Vault what?
we unlocked Vault 7, maybe. I mean, the timeline works out. We were on the run.
Uh-huh.
You don't know what we were doing.
And then WikiLeaks and Vault 7.
Just saying.
So something weird happened. My Xbox turned on for no reason the other night. I kid you not. No controllers were active. There wasn't a power surge. Wasn't anything weird. And sitting there, about to go to sleep, and all of a sudden, beating kicks on, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I don't have a Kinect, so there's nothing voice activated.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Are the Kinects voice activated?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
For the Xbox One, they are.
Oh, see, I'm not rich.
Yeah. But I don't have a Kinect, so I'm not rich either. But yeah, that was just weird.
What kind of TV do you have?
Just a non-smart TV.
Let's give just a quick,
Really?
before we get off of here. Vault 7 has to do
flat
with
screen?
the CIA possibly being able to hear us through our smart devices, gaming consoles.
They pretty much can. You know
we'll
can.
We'll say allegedly.
Oh no, they can't.
Because we will do an episode on it very soon.
And I'm not afraid to call out the CIA. What are they going to do? Double tap to the back of the head?
There was like 900 pages or something leaked.
Yeah.
We obviously aren't going to read through 900 pages, but I'm sure there's some people out there that will. So we're going to wait until they give us the summaries.
Right.
That's why we're not covering it right away.
Right.
But yeah, Vault 7, check it out.
Samsung has even come out and said, yeah, our devices we can listen to people through our devices.
I'm sure we'll bring it up again, but the other day when you and I were talking about it, you were talking about the Apple case where the shooter.
Oh, the San Bernardino Muslim shooter, the one that killed like 14 people at an office party.
Yeah,
there was an issue where somehow the cell phones got locked,
and the FBI wanted into it. And I remember there was a huge argument with Apple on how to get it unlocked, and then. You brought it up. You reminded me, like, all of a sudden it was just like, okay, never mind.
Yeah, because all of a sudden they're like, yeah, don't worry about it. We figured it out. And, that was it. Now, figured out why. They probably got a hold of somebody in the CIA and were like, hey, just do your thing.
Do your magic.
We know you know.
I just wanted you to put that on recording, that theory on recording, because that's very interesting, because I forgot all about that.
That was like one of their sticking points was that Apple would not.
Oh, was it?
Apple would absolutely not help them out.
Oh, yeah.
Even though he was a terror suspect.
Right.
Even though his wife was a terror suspect because she allegedly had something to do with it too.
Right.
But they wouldn't help.
Right.
And then all of a sudden the FBI was like, don't worry about it. We figured it out.
Yeah, I just, like I said, it'll be a few weeks before we actually touch on it. But I wanted it to be said somewhere, so that way when a lot of people start saying it, we can be like, no, we said it first.
That was so long ago at this point.
Yeah.
People probably forgot about that.
It's still a good theory.
And then all of a sudden I was like, holy shit. Then Vault 7 happens. And I'm like, that was the first thing I thought of was the San Bernardino shooter and the phone incident.
Right.
And then all of a sudden they're like, it's a non-issue now. Well, oh, real? How? How is it suddenly a non-issue?
Right.
So.
Okay. Well, I think that's a good wrapping up point. That's a good teaser for when we finally do that episode.
Right.
So stick around and check out all the podcasts that supported us while we were gone.
Thank you guys.
Thank you
And
so
gals.
much. And gals, yes. There was some females on one of the crews. Female, no S.
Maybe. Don't assume their genders.
We'll be back next week with some Ruby Ridge and some other... We're going to be conspiracy heavy for the next month.
Well, yeah, it's April. April's a great conspiracy month.
Yeah, April's full of conspiracies. Even the Titanic conspiracy, which we're not going to touch on this month.
Nope.
We're not going to be losers like everyone else that touches on it.
You know what? You know when I want to touch on that one.
I think we will touch on it on that date.
Yes.
I'm going to let everyone be like, ooh. So we will be
Yes.
touching on the Titanic conspiracy one day.
And either people will be like, oh, really? Or, oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they'll get it.
All right. We'll say goodbye.
Bye.
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 You have just listened to After Dark with the Secret Transmission Podcast. Follow them on Twitter at Secret Transpod. Subscribe to them on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or YouTube. Have a question? Email them at secrettransmission@hotmail.com. Please come back next week and listen to a normal episode as they try to explain the unexplainable.